Professional spacecraft racers know that finishing second is never an option. Following their footsteps, we've mastered speed, precision, and the art of the chase. From asteroid races to arms races, Solomon Industries stealth bombers give the Alliance an edge in a nebulous galaxy, and we're looking for a few fleet commanders to join.
Greetings, spacers, and apologies for the interruption. If you're watching this, you're either being deployed to our Eastern Front or you're already there. Unfortunately, the threat environment has shifted once again. Following the disastrous attack on the naval base at Bethel Harbor, intel reports that the OSP insurgents have acquired a significant number of strike craft, sourced from mothballed fleets and local manufacturers within their largely theoretical borders. In response, Fleet Command has authorized the deployment of a limited number of Levy-class escort carriers and their full complement to counter this emerging threat. Our Levy fleet has recently completed an extensive refit, equipped with the most advanced strike craft technology the Shelter Alliance has ever fielded. Our heavier carriers will remain patrolling the neutral zone along the western border, to safeguard the core worlds and their citizens. This video will guide you through the newly available strike craft and their roles within the battle space, and new technologies made available to non-carrier-based fleets. Should any of these tools seem useful to your fleets, report to the nearest shipyard for immediate refit. Without further ado, let us begin. We'll begin with everyone's favorite airshow attendee, the PF440 Tonto. This multi-domain interceptor was introduced during the final days of the Decima Blitz, replacing both the atmospheric Lancer and the exo-atmospheric Trident. The Tonto excels equally in the vacuum of space and in the skies of Protectorate-held planets. Boasting stealth capabilities far superior to that of older fighters like the Barracuda, the Tonto is an impressive evolution in strike craft design. However, it comes with trade-offs. Its payload capacity is somewhat limited, and it's slightly less maneuverable than dedicated space superiority fighters. Keep this in mind when facing specialized enemy forces, especially while in vacuum. However, the Tonto is remarkably versatile in its loadout. Its internal weapons bay fits 4 Class 1 missiles or a single Class 2 missile. Wing pylons can mount 4 additional Class 1 missiles or swap them out for electronic warfare equipment, drop tanks, or 35mm autocannon pods. The nose mount is equipped by default with a rotary gun, but it can be upgraded to an autocannon or a coil gun if you can sweet-talk a fleet quartermaster into doing so. While the Tonto wasn't designed for taking on heavy targets, it can nonetheless carry the KBU series of unguided bombs inside the weapons bay and on wing pylons, giving it limited but not insignificant anti-ship and surface bombardment capabilities. Thanks to its modular design, your deck crew can reconfigure and launch Tonto squadrons faster than most other strike craft, a crucial advantage in faster-paced engagements. Recommend using the Tonto for escorting starships and bomber squadrons, scouting ahead of the fleet, and dogfighting enemy strike craft. With the PF440 Tonto, flexibility is your greatest weapon, so deploy them wisely. Now let's talk about the B86 Claymore, our famous stealth bomber. You've probably seen it in stadium flyovers and on television commercials, but this craft is no showpiece. Like the Tonto, the Claymore operates seamlessly both in Atmo and in the vacuum of space, with top-tier stealth capabilities to match its smaller cousin. The Claymore forgoes all external weapons in favor of stealth, relying entirely on its internal weapons bay, which can house 2 Class 3 mounts or 4 Class 2 mounts. Class 3 configuration is ideal for heavy firepower. Arm the Claymore with 2 Class 3 torpedoes for devastating anti-ship strikes, or 2 CBU series cluster bombs for planetary remodeling. Class 2 configuration offers flexibility. You may equip 4 Tempest series missiles for either anti-craft or anti-ship missions, or 4 heavier KBU series bombs for anti-ship or anti-ground missions. What truly sets the Claymore apart is its onboard computer suite. Unlike other craft, it can guide multiple command-guided missiles to their targets simultaneously, giving it a critical edge in complex engagements. On an important final note, the Claymore is completely defenseless in a dogfight unless armed with space-to-space missiles, so make sure your Claymore squadrons are well escorted and out of harm's way. Recommend using the Claymore for bombing or torpedo bombing runs against heavier ships and surface targets. Plot courses wisely to avoid early detection and enemy point defense envelopes. Now let's change pace a bit and discuss the E44 Sundial. The Sundial is our CWAC, Spaceborne Early Warning and Control Craft. Like the Tonto and the Claymore, the Sundial operates effectively both in and out of Atmo. The Sundial is completely unarmed, but it's invaluable. Its primary asset is an exceptionally powerful and precise radar dome with a maximum range of exactly 10 kilometers. This allows it to scout ahead, secure advantageous positions, and identify threats long before they can come into striking range. In many cases, the Sundial's capabilities may make dedicated scouting corvettes redundant, allowing you to focus resources elsewhere. However, the Sundial is extremely vulnerable. It only carries basic chaff and flare launchers for missile defense, and it's entirely defenseless against enemy strike craft. Fighter escorts are strongly recommended to ensure its safety. For specialized missions, the Sundial can also be outfitted with an ELINT sensor, boasting an impressive 15-kilometer detection range. However, this configuration is non-standard and ELINT sensors are very delicate, so securing one will require considerable charm or outright bribery with your quartermaster. Use the Sundial precisely as intended, as an early warning and reconnaissance craft. Its advanced radar makes it ideal for planning bomber strikes and fighter patrol routes, and conversely, avoiding enemy fighter patrols. Yes, the Sundial isn't flashy, but its ability to see the battlefield before the enemy does makes it an essential tool for fleet coordination. Protect it well, and it'll reward you with the tactical edge you need. Finally, let's talk about the Halberd, the ship everyone seems to forget exists. It's butt ugly, it's older than anyone on this fleet, it can't even enter thin planetary atmospheres, and it's not exactly glamorous. But don't let that fool you. The Halberd is compact, versatile, and still has a few tricks up its sleeve. Unlike the Tonto and Claymore, the Halberd features an omnidirectional radar suite instead of just a forward-facing one, giving it an edge in detecting sneaky or evasive targets, even if they approach from behind. For that specific scenario, the Halberd is equipped with a chin-mounted autocannon and a tail-mounted autocannon turret, capable of a full 360-degree traversal. Even targets approaching at uneasy angles will think twice before engaging a Halberd at close range. Furthermore, these weapons are even effective against smaller starships, such as corvettes and frigates. But don't expect much against heavier ships. That being said, the turret system can traverse quickly, allowing the Halberd to strafe at unnatural angles, avoid point defense fire, and target specific subsystems on enemy ships. Finally, the rear autocannon turret can be swapped out for specialized equipment, such as a passive radar sensor with a 10-kilometer detection range, offering electronic intelligence capabilities. Or the Sprinter-class Masquerade module that mimics the radar signature of the far larger Sprinter corvette. This can be useful for luring enemy forces into a trap. However, if you choose the Sprinter Masquerade module, be prepared for complaints from the pilot because nobody enjoys pretending to be the cluster's easiest target. Recommend using the Halberd for early detection, support roles, or baiting enemy forces into disadvantageous positions. Its versatility makes it a useful addition to non-carrier fleets, fitting snugly in the cramped launch bays of Axfords and Solomons, useful for scouting blind corners and potential ambushes. The Halberd may not be the flashiest craft, but it's reliable, adaptable, and still earns its keep in this fleet. Sometimes the old dogs really do know the best tricks. Now that you're familiar with our strike craft, let's cover some new technologies being rolled out fleet-wide as of this announcement. Launch and landing facilities can now be installed on any ship with a standard size 4 or larger mount. Recommended locations include the rear mount of the Axford-class heavy cruiser and the secondary forward dorsal mount of the Solomon-class battleship. These facilities enable your ship to deploy and recover an extremely small complement of strike craft. Unfortunately, due to the cramped hangar conditions, only Halberds or Tontos will even fit through the doors, let alone find a parking spot in the tiny hangar. The Halberd is particularly well suited for these circumstances thanks to its compact design. Fleet Command is also introducing the Typhoon series of Class 2 hybrid missiles for anti-craft purposes. Think of the Typhoon as the reverse of the Cyclone, optimized for taking out enemy strike craft. The first stage is a powerful booster, ensuring long-range engagement capability and getting out to those distances very quickly. The second stage is slower, but highly maneuverable and extremely destructive, perfect for shredding bombers or interceptors before they reach their targets. Deploy Typhoons as your first line of defense against enemy strike craft, especially bombers, to protect your fleet from devastating attack runs. Before we wrap up, Fleet Intelligence has identified some preliminary details on what the Protectorate insurgents may be using for strike craft. We recovered some data tapes from the Bethel Harbor assault, and we found that all of their spacecraft are at least 1 or 2 generations old by now, and do not possess multi-domain or basic stealth capabilities. Use this to your advantage whenever possible, but ensure your pilots never underestimate their counterparts. This concludes today's briefing on the recent developments along our Western Front. Please report any feedback on this video tutorial to the Naval Office, be it positive or negative. We need our spacers well informed for the days ahead. Remember, we may have the technological advantage here, but the tools at your disposal are only as effective as the spacers wielding them. So stay sharp, trust your instincts, and work together with your allies to keep your crews safe. Shelter citizens and their freedom depend on it. Thank you for your attention, and on behalf of all of Fleet Command, good hunting out there. Dismissed!